On my blog homepage, I describe myself as an anti-theist. What does that mean? What's the difference between an anti-theist and an atheist? Well, let's talk about that. Here's what it means to me. An atheist is someone who does not believe in any God or higher power, or in most cases, the supernatural at all. Someone who simply doesn't hold those beliefs. One of my favorite quotes, actually, I don't know who said it originally, but I believe I came across it on the Facebook page for the Thinking Atheist. If atheism is a religion, then OFF is a TV channel. Because atheism certainly has its critics. Many people think it's just another religion, and it is a belief system, but I don't think you can call it as a religion. It's absence of religion. What's that mean? Well, as somebody who does not hold these beliefs, I've been asked, aren't you afraid of hell? Well, no, I don't believe in hell. If you don't believe in God, you don't believe in hell. Are you angry at God? Do you hate God? I usually respond to that with something like, are you angry with Zeus? And the person will say, well, Zeus isn't real. And I'll say, there you have it. That's kind of my point. I can't be angry with someone I don't believe in. Now, what's it mean to be an anti-theist? An anti-theist is a type of atheist or a subset of atheists. I've struggled with this over the years, deciding exactly what that meant to me, because an anti-theist is not only someone who does not have a religion, but it's someone who believes that religion itself is harmful. This is why I've struggled with it. I'm a big believer in freedom of choice, freedom of belief, freedom of thought. If you want to believe in God or Christ or the Buddha or Allah or Thor or Odin or Glooskap for that matter, go for it. I believe you have that individual right. I do not believe you have the right to push that belief on other people. This is where being an anti-theist comes in. I believe, as it says on my blog page, one of the greatest evils ever created by humankind or one of the most dangerous things created by humankind, let's not use the word evil necessarily, is religion. How many of the great atrocities throughout history have been committed in the name of religion? Today, people are very aware of terrorism, and a lot of people, particularly in North America and parts of Europe, associate terrorism with Muslim people. That's not fair. There are extremist, fundamentalist terrorists who identify themselves as Christian. Every group has its extremists. To use a politically incorrect term, it's nut jobs. I don't believe that those people should be used to represent the religion as a whole. However, if we look back in history, institutionally, there have been terrible things committed in the name of religion. People burned at the stake. Scientists who challenged beliefs of the church being tortured, Spanish Inquisition. A lot of people have heard of the Crusades. Well, Richard the Lionheart, held up as a great example of the British king. What did he do when he decided to march on the Middle East? He captured a town with a couple of thousand people, and it essentially blocked his route to the shore as he moved inland. He didn't have enough men to leave people there to guard the prisoners who were not Christians. He couldn't take them with him. He didn't want to leave them unguarded in case they rose up against him, so he slaughtered them all over a religious war. How much terrorism, how much fear, how much hatred, how many wars have been fought in the name of religion? My blog says I believe the three greatest evils or most dangerous things created by humans are racism, nationalism, and religion. There are certainly many other things that could be on that list, but those big three are the ones that throughout history have led people to either try to enslave or eliminate entire other groups of people. Whether it's the conquest of the Americas, whether it's slavery, whether it's the Holocaust, these things have happened in the name of racism or nationalism or religion. When I taught a senior high social studies course, one of the sections was actually called Gold, Glory, and God, because it referred to European colonization of other parts of the world, the Americas, parts of Africa, parts of Southern Asia, and the three primary motivations. One of them was financial gain. One of them was national pride and building the empire. And one of them was the spread of Christianity to people who already had their own belief systems and imposing it upon them. That is maybe not as overtly done today, but it still certainly happens. We have the push for religion in schools, leading away from teaching actual valid science. People want to, in parts of the United States, for example, want to teach creation as an alternate theory to evolution. Well, that's what Sunday school's for. If you believe that, great, teach your kids that. It doesn't belong in public education. Should there be prayers in school? My belief is no, there should not be prayers in school. I believe that religion is a private matter and it should be kept out of the public sector. It has no place in government. It has no place in schools. I actually find it very objectionable that many high schools in my area, Nova Scotia, still begin their graduation service with an invocation. As a matter of fact, in the high school I attended and the one where I taught for about 10 years, part of the grad week celebration is an ecumenical church service. I'm not telling people not to go to church. I'm telling you it should not be something that's associated with these other institutions. I believe religion itself is problematic. I believe it is a very destructive force in the world. And I see a lot of evil done in its name. I also believe that it's something that as a society, many parts of the world have outgrown it. You're starting to see less of it in parts of Europe. You're starting to see less of it in Scandinavia. You're starting to see less of it in the developed countries. It's really an idea that had a purpose many years ago. People needed a way to explain things. When they were fearful, they needed someone to ask for help. When they had something go wrong, they needed someone to blame. Some form of God or deity served these purposes. But not only do we know that humans created religion, we have a pretty good idea scientifically when, where, and why they created religion. It's not a huge mystery. The history that we know of the earth does not bear out the information found in any of these religious texts. It's considered prejudicial in some cases to make fun of the Bible, the Quran, and I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to directly attack these things in this blog. But really, if you look at them, how much sense do they make? I will make one point. I mentioned in an earlier blog this guy Ken Ham in the States who built the Ark Encounter attraction model, Noah's Ark. Ken Ham believes that the earth is about 6,000 years old. He believes dinosaurs roamed the earth at the same time as humans. And he believes that 40 days and 40 nights of rain flooded the entire earth. I would like to ask him a question. As somebody who's studied a little bit of science in my life, I'd like to know where all that water came from. I'd also like to know where it went. We know some of the water on Earth is locked up in the polar ice caps. If that were to melt, water levels would rise somewhat. It would not come close to flooding the entire Earth. There is only a finite amount of water on Earth. There is not enough to submerge all the land. And if there were, why are we not already flooded? Kevin Costner, Waterworld was not a great movie. Sorry, buddy. I liked your earlier work. Dances with Wolves is great. Waterworld, not so much. Okay. There are many, 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 many cases where I could poke holes in Scripture and say they don't make sense, but I'm not going to spend a week doing this video. Basically, I just wanted to say, why do I identify as anti-theist? Am I an atheist? Yes. But more than that, not only am I not afraid of God, do I not believe in God, am I not afraid of hell, do I not believe in any of the deities that have been worshipped and followed throughout the history of the world. I believe it's actually harmful to us as an international global society. I think it's something that is very destructive. It creates division among people. It lends itself well to the ideology of extremists, and it's time we outgrew it. It's time to move on. Seriously. Who believes in magic people in the sky anymore?